Well, I'm overwhelmed looking at this last and the recording before it. I need a rest. What is it? 5:45 in the morning, Friday morning. The date is 30th of August, and I'm in New Zealand. August 2024, and I'm in New Zealand, North Island, Hamilton, not far from the lake. I can see a bit of corner of the lake from my window up here in my flat, 2 or 3 floors off the ground. It's just a house, but that's the way it is in New Zealand. Anyway, yes, can I just mention my phonetic obsession, if you like, interest, the alphabet, and I've put that up on instead of the usual pretty picture of a scene that's relevant to me, and especially Hamilton and so on. I'll put up the alphabet. Well, most of it you can recognize from ordinary English type usage, lettering. I've stuck with the letters that are familiar to the English language. I've singled out more familiar sounds. There's something short of 40 sounds typically that are useful, and you could add more, of course, but not really needed from the point of view of communication. And I've deliberately, of course, avoided ambiguities where a letter or a symbol, so to speak, combination of letters can be pronounced in different ways. I mean, that's really an awful confusion and a menace in learning to read and write, and a terrible handicap and burden on people. Not been necessary, but seems to have been what we've been saddled with from history, and mainly because the English language has come from such a variety of languages of the past and present. And we're adding words daily to our language, but in the form of sounds and sort of spellings that we're semi-used to. So my phonetic spelling is a great rationalization of such. Might seem not terribly rational to you, superficially just glancing at it, but you can certainly feel your way quite easily. It takes a very short time to learn, and means one can read and write in such phonetic way, with such ease, such speed, a consistency in it that, well, I think is incredibly valuable and helpful. But see what you think. I've used it in the titles of my recordings, haven't I? And so you may be familiar with much of it, all of it by now. And I've done that quite deliberately, of course, because I want to encourage the use of such. I'm aware that it's become less important as like I'm doing here. I'm not writing, I'm dictating, I'm recording what I think is important, and distributing it accordingly using, in this case, YouTube. Wonderful inventions. So perhaps writing and reading will become a thing of the past anyway. Sorry, my phonetic systems come too late. But I don't know. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Look, just to make life easier, I will read to you what's in this manuscript that you've got up on the screen here, just in case you're in any doubt. And I'll read it fairly slowly. And okay. So the heading in bold: soundz spelling. The simple way to spell, and in the way that we speak. And I've put my name here as it would be spelt, of course, accordingly. Marshall Hope. W is for Wednesday. Revised. Yeah, okay, etc. Some time back now, isn't it? Yeah, I've been working on this for years. Well, not working really, just love doing it. So the first line there, notice no capitals. No need to learn capital letters. Let's make the language as simple as we don't need capitals. Can pets sit on us? Well, they're the usual sounds, aren't they? But a, e, I, o, a. Say, see my snow boots. Notice O. O-W. Well, I mean, I can't just use O on its own because that's O, as in on, above, isn't it? So if I want the sound O, it's always and only O-W. Make the language rational, simple, consistent, okay? We normally say A, E, I, O, U. Well, U is not a sound. I mean, really, it's oo, isn't it? Oo. Well, I'll put oo there anyway, double O, for oo, and not single O, of course, yeah. Our oil and coal sold far better in August. Yeah, well, our is we used to, oi, oh, yeah, that's all right. Coal, oh, actually you don't need the OA. You can just put C-O-L, coal, but not quite, coal. I was of two minds here, and I've left it in, and I'll make sure that's in the alphabet list in the next recording to this. Sold, I put it small dots there because we've already said OA in the word coal, so it's not something different, is it? Far, that's a good one. Double A, I mean, that's an unusual one. I put that in, so learn that one if you can. If you want the sound R, it's not even with the letter at the end, it's simply R. Far better, this is the sound. It's not really a vowel, it's a partial vowel, and it doesn't always sound the same. We stick it in all over the place, and I'll give them some examples later. But the word better, in August, nothing unusual about that. So we've learnt those combinations of letters that give a particular sound. And the only completely foreign one to you, no, there's two foreign ones there, isn't there? The double A and the EU, the R sound and the a semi-vowel, a degenerate vowel, if you like. But some might say, and therefore right, far better. Better. Do you see, we don't necessarily sound the R, do we much? We don't say better. We say better. Better. So that gives you a clue as to how to pronounce that sound, doesn't it? Next line. She checked the things to avoid confusion. Two unusual things here. I mean, notice the distinction between the, no need for an E, just TH, double TH for th. Things is not things, it's things, isn't it?
So we need a new one there as well. That's our third really new one, isn't it? We've got R, and th. But there's another one at the end here, and it's not very seldom used, but I found I needed it in the end. Confusion. I put the O-N there because some people do say O-N, confusion, on. Most of us, I think, tend to say confusion, in which case, well, I'll deal with that in a minute. And then I've just listed b, k, d, f, j, h, and the other sounds, just as you know already. You know those, don't you? And then I've written for. Notice the AU cropping up, as in August, for. It's not FOR, is it? It's for. For economy, notice not a Y at the end, it's double E, because we want the E sound, not Y. You see? For economy of, it's not F, is it? It's V. It's a V sound, it's not off. It's of. What's a V sound? Writing may be dropped by doubling its following adjacent consonant, assuming that there is one. We should, I'm giving examples here, you see. Should, I could write S-H-E-U-D, but I don't. I simply drop the EU and double the following consonant, D. We should obviously pay better attention to be able to read good books. So they're all examples of this sort of half vowel. I won't call it degenerate vowel, it's a bit of an insult, isn't it? It's a half vowel, it's one that we resort to often. And EU, you see, and is often voiced rather than other vowels, as in obedience, instead of obedience. Okay. Well, that's a bit tricky to grasp, perhaps, but that's all. And that's it. That's all of it. The rest on the next, top of the next page, so to speak, is blurb, and I'll read it to you. Soundz spelling makes learning to read and write very easy. This is because it keeps strictly to a minimum of phonetic rules, being consistently applied to the writer's own choice of pronunciation. Of course, you need to speak and write clearly enough for your purpose, but your accent and way of speaking need not be set aside for some other style. They can be respected by being spelt as wished in the writing. Soundz spelling very, very simply avoids nearly all the work of learning to read and write language. Language greatly needs to be sound spelt. It saves children from the greatest school burden, some average of 250 hours per year for each child. For children, teachers and parents worldwide, this is astronomic, upwards of 1 trillion hours every year. Hence this simple spelling reform, sound spelling, when costed out, amounts to the greatest economic saving ever for humanity. And then I've written there, all rights reserved to ensure the free use by whoever. And that's it. You know, I mean, I'm not doing this for profit or something. I'm doing it because, well, I think it. What do you think? Thank you, Heavenly Dad. The next recording, I'm just going through laying out what therefore the sounds are, the alphabet, so to speak, phonetic alphabet. I've simply used the rules as laid down here. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.